Hello everyone, and welcome back to another One Punch Man Season 2 review. We're going to be reviewing episode 5 today, so let's get into it. So before we begin, make sure that you join up on my Discord where I update everybody on the latest videos that I'm putting up. I've of course got Twitter and Facebook and all of those as well, but Discord, I'm trying to make a community there. So you can find a link in the description down below, or on the header or whatever that's on my page if you're on your phone, or not phone but desktop. So just go on there, click on the Discord, join up, and join the community that's kind of growing. There's like 4 people on there right now, but we'll make it bigger. Also, make sure that you go to Crunchyroll or Hulu for the actual episode. If you want the full episode, that's where you gotta go to get it. That's where I watch it pretty much. So just go there, watch it, then come back to the review because there's going to be spoilers. So with that being said, now let's get into it. So the episode starts off with monsters everywhere. The Hero Association is overwhelmed at this point. They didn't expect monsters to appear all at once. They've noticed that monsters have been appearing more and more and more lately, but now it's like tons of them everywhere. And they don't know what to do. There's not enough heroes to take care of all these monsters. They need the S-class, but then they're like, well, King is busy because he's in a fight, which he's playing video games, but they don't know that. They don't know where half of these people are. They don't know what they're gonna do. Because it cuts back to the giant centipede, which, I mean, these two, Pineapple Man and the other guy, they're pretty much done for. But then Metal Knight shows up. I believe it's Metal Knight, I hope I'm right, because if I'm not, that's gonna be bad. He shows up to save the day. He shoots some rockets at it. It doesn't do anything against this centipede, so it's like, what could he really do? But it gives the time for these heroes to escape, to get out of there. But as they're making their way out, there's all these heroes everywhere are getting blocked by more and more monsters. There's monsters everywhere. We had like some, a rhinoceros guy, some bird man, a sludge monster. The sludge monster, by the way, looks like the one from My Hero Academia Season 1, Episode 1. Like that sludge monster from the beginning, it looks just like him almost. But there's just monsters everywhere. Some of them have really cool designs, some of them not so much. It cuts back to Metal Bat versus Garou, which this fight was probably the only good thing about this episode. I felt like this episode was really rushed. It felt really, really fast-paced. It was bringing in so many new characters, so many new monsters, so many names and faces, and it was just moving from one thing to the next. It was like monsters, Garou versus Metal Bat, the martial arts tournament, monsters. It's like, okay, I can't keep up with all of this. There's way too much going on at the moment. I feel like they need to slow down a bit. The episode title was the martial arts tournament, and we barely got anything of that. It was just the introductions. We didn't even get to see a fight. It was just introductions. Everything else we got to see outside of that. They should have been called Metal Bat versus Garou, to be honest. But this is the way it is. But Metal Bat is getting destroyed by Garou. Like, he's getting hit hard from these punches and whatever Garou does with his martial arts. But Metal Bat is very straightforward. He's all about swinging and very linear motions. It's nothing fancy that martial arts can do. So he gets pummeled by Garou really bad. And even though he gets hit so many times, Metal Bat doesn't give up. He keeps going and going, and Garou is like, my god, like his legs, he has broken bones, he is battered to pieces, and yet he's still fighting, and he's actually getting stronger and stronger the more that he fights. And Metal Bat says it's because he's pumped up, but it's interesting because it's like, how powerful could this guy get if he just keeps going? So Metal Bat goes super fast with his hits. I mean, he's like swinging around, Garou just dodges all of them. Garou starts to fight back, and he starts using his martial arts to start throwing hits at Metal Bat. And this is what is bad about the animation, okay? So you have Madhouse. Madhouse would have Metal Bat moving his bat around to show that he's blocking the hits. This studio, however, to show that Metal Bat is blocking every single hit that Garou is throwing at him, he's just standing in one spot. He's just not moving whatsoever, and all of the hits are just concentrated onto the bat. How the hell is that possible? Because He's using martial arts to get around Metal Bat's movements. How is Metal Bat just standing there, not moving whatsoever, and all the hits are just hitting the bat? There's no freaking way. They're probably wanting you to think that he's moving really fast as well, but I don't buy it. I think it's just lazy animation is what it is. But no matter Metal Bat's efforts, he's not able to get a hit in. Garou is the only one getting the hits in, and he does one final hit, and Metal Bat is down. He's down for the count, and that's it. Garou won the fight pretty much, and he doesn't have time to to finish him off or whatever, because Metal Bat is passed out, and Garou looks at his hands and realizes that they're shaking, and he thinks it's from the getting hit, blocking the hits from the bat and hitting the bat, and he's like, wow, I guess that bat, his strikes were more powerful than I thought. Like if I got hit by one, it would have been bad news. This is the coolest part, is the instant he says that, Metal Bat's right there, right on him, and the bat is coming down to his head, and I was just like, oh my god, it's over. There's like, he got a hit in finally, but no, he stops right before he hits Garou, because Metal Bat's sister just randomly shows up out of nowhere, and she just shows up, and it's this little plain looking girl that seems to be like really bossy to Metal Bat. I can tell that she's kind of like she runs the house. I thought like it was something weird, because you know how anime is sometimes, where like you have the big brother be like overly obsessive with a little sister, and it's kind of like creepy in a way. But it's not the case here. It's just, it looks like it's just some bossy little sister, and he's very easygoing with her, I guess, or something. I don't know. But he stops the fight, and he's like, well, my sister told me to stop, so I'm done. And Garou's like, what? No, I'm still gonna fight you. So he goes to fight Metal Bat still, but gets blocked by the little girl. And she tells him to stop, you're not getting through me. And normally, this is the interesting thing, is that normally you would think that Garou he's a monster, right? He considers himself a monster, so you would think he would just attack the little girl and Metal Bat, no matter what they say. But he stops. He scratches his head and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna fight another day. I'll come back after you, Metal Bat, another time. I'm gonna leave you alone. And you're really lucky that you get to live this time, so bye. It's like, does he have a thing about... It's like he has a good heart in him. It's weird to say, because he's been going around trying to kill all these heroes, even though he doesn't kill them. He just beats them up. He hasn't killed really anybody except maybe the people at the Hero Association. But outside of that, he's not really killed anybody. He just beat the crap out of them. And then when it comes to kids, he's really relaxed, easygoing, really normal, like he is with the boy who has the manual. He talks to the boy like he's just a little like friends with the kid, and then he looks at this girl and he's like, oh well, I'm not gonna mess with you, so I'll just get out of here. It's like, he's not really the monster he says he is. He kind of wants to be, but he has these feelings that he cares about people in a way. Not really cares about them, but he doesn't want to hurt kids, it looks like. And that's the thing that a monster would. A monster don't care if it's a kid or a woman or anything. They're gonna kill them. But Garou's not like that, so it's an interesting like concept to his character. When the monsters see that Garou has completely destroyed Metal Bat, they approach him, and it was the bird creature and the slime monster. They approach Garou, and well, Garou stomps the sludge creature down first. But the bird creature's like, how about you join our organization? We're the Monster Organization or Monster Association or something similar to like the Hero Association. They could have just been called the League of Villains, just like My Hero Academia, been fine. But he approaches them and he's like, here's our card. And you see a hand come out of the monster, of the bird monster, and it's like, wait, is it a costume or is it an actual creature? Because the thing flies, for one, just like a normal bird, and the mouth moves when it talks, yet a hand came out of its stomach. These monsters are so freaking weird. I don't know what to make of it. Honestly, I don't. What's surprising here is that Garou refuses to join the Monster Association. He's like, no, I'm not into that. And it's like, okay, so he doesn't want to join the monsters, but he hates heroes. he kind of just does his own thing. He's almost like Stain from My Hero Academia, that just wants to kill heroes but isn't a villain. Like, he's not with the villains, he's just doing his own thing. I kind of feel like that's how Garou is. He's just doing his own thing. He has his own goals, and even though he considers himself a monster, he doesn't want to be a part of their group. So we see tons of monsters in this episode. So many that I can't keep track of all of them. Their names, their abilities, if they're dangerous or not. And some of the monsters have really weird designs. Like, there's some that looks like a normal person with just weird stuff around them, like weapons and stuff. Then you have like some random, they have like a little like fish creature that has like muscle arms or something. It's just, some of the designs are really weird, I have to say. And some of them are really cool. So I have to give it that, but it's just, I feel like some of them, they were just running out of ideas and they didn't know what to come up with. So before I get into the martial arts tournament, I had to say I'm gonna probably butcher the names. I'm gonna let that be known. I'm gonna butcher their names really badly. I'm watching the sub, obviously. They don't have this in dub yet, so I can't really get to hear the name, how it's supposed to sound. You don't really hear it right in Japanese. They say it so fast that you can't really catch it, so bear with me on this. So the first guy who shows, not first guy who shows up, but the one of the guys, they had tons of characters in the martial arts tournament, but some of the ones that stuck out to me was Bakuzan. So Bakuzan is some mean looking hairy dude that, like, he wants to kill one of the main winners from the past year. So there's a guy that's been winning like 4 times in a row or something, and he's here to defeat that guy. Now that guy is suiryu? I think it's suiryu. I don't know. I want to say suiryu. Someone just let me know how to pronounce his name in the comments. I tried listening to it several times. I looked it up, how to read it. I don't know how to say this game. I'm gonna say suiryu until I know what it is. But suiryu joins the fight, and he's the guy we saw from last episode after the credits, where he looks confident. He's young. He looks like I feel like he knows what he's doing. This guy has a thing about him. And Bakuzan wants to kill this guy, apparently. I don't know why. I don't know if there's some kind of vendetta going on. I was kind of confused because they made it sound like one of them was thinking the other one was the wolf monster. But then I'm like, no, because they knew it was Garou. So I got confused. I might have just been not watching it very well at this point. I was still dwelling on all these names that I had to remember, so I might have just messed that up, but I mean, one of them hates the other, and that's all I can say about it. We cut to Silver Fang, who's with the old guy, his brother, just trying to find Garou. They're trying to like not bait, but use the heroes as bait, hoping that Garou would come by and then they can get him. And a really weird like 4 or 5 arm monster, whatever the hell, shows up and it's attacking some heroes. So Silver Fang steps up and he brutally kills this monster. You can see they have not been showing Silver Fang's face, if you've noticed. The whole episode, you don't see his face. All you see is from his nose down. You don't see his eyes. And I think he is going through some really tremendous emotion right now. He is in a really bad state. So when he goes up to this monster, he completely destroys this guy and then just walks away like nothing happened. So Garou better watch out because his master's coming for him. We have some weird monster called Martial Gorilla, I think is what it was, and it's just a monk. It looks like a guy in a monkey suit eating bananas, and he crushed some like monk Kong, something strong Kong, or I can't remember his name. I haven't had Kong in it. He's beating some S-class or some A-rank heroes. There's just heroes everywhere, there's monsters everywhere, and the monsters are just kicking butt. That's basically what I got from this episode. It felt too fast-paced. I had no time to even know who anyone was or what their names were. There's some kind of like vampire monster that like killed a whole bunch of people and took all their blood. They had like some whip, some naked looking girl with a whip type of monster. I mean, there's just so many, and I hope that they kind of slow down and show one fight at a time after this episode, so you can kind of get a good feel for who's who and what they can do. Luckily, we had Lady is it Fubuki? Or I can't pronounce these names. Lady Fubuki or Fabuki? I want to say Fubuki. I hope that's right. I should have looked beforehand. She shows up to fight the whip monster, the one that's some woman that's half naked, or almost all naked, and has a whip. Shows up to fight her, which should be interesting because this Fubuki uses psychic abilities, so I don't know how this lady with the whip is going to be able to touch her, but I mean, we'll see in the next episodes because they don't go into it after that. They go back to the martial arts tournament where we see a guy named Zakos, I believe it is, and Saitama and Sourface are all kind of huddled up, getting ready to enter the ring. And we see Lightning Max, and he fights against this little girl with bells in her hair. He defeats her, and he moves on. And they were saying, like, it's actually pretty good that he did that he was able to beat this girl because he was in a weaker class or something. Like, he was classed weaker and was fighting against opponents that could be stronger than him or something. And once Saitama was looking at the roster and he looked at Zakos, he's like, well, actually, that means you're really weak then because you're in this lower roster. He offended him. Zakos was like, I'm going to destroy this guy. But sadly for him, he's going against Saitama. So, I mean, you just know what's going to happen. And after the credits, you find out what happens. Saitama slaps this guy in the face. He doesn't punch him, he slaps him down. And he's knocked out, and that's it. That's the end of the fight. It's like, yep, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. And they were saying like Zakos was hoping the one he loves was there watching him so he could redeem himself, and then they weren't there at all, so then they didn't see it. Did anyone notice he kind of looked like he was in a Yamcha position on the ground? Like he was in the most pathetic looking position. You don't see his face or anything, he's just like, just done. Hilarious. It's always hilarious when Saitama just one-shots people. I love it. I never get tired of it. The interesting thing before we get to the end of the episode though is that the suiryu, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. Suiryu sees how the fight went, and he's like, this guy used some interesting moves. Like, this is gonna be, I can't wait to see him at the top. It's weird because it made it look like he was talking about Zakos, but Zakos was the one who was defeated. Like he was talking about Zakos' move on Saitama, but I think he's talking about Saitama. Like, he saw the way he defeated this guy instantly, and he's like, somebody to contend with. So, I'm excited to see where this goes. I just hope the episodes get a little bit slower paced, just a tiny bit where not jumping around to so many fights and things happening. I kind of want to focus on one thing at a time so I can absorb what's going on. But, with that being said, I'll give the episode probably a 7 out of 10. I would have gave it a 6 out of 10 because of the pacing, and the animation was pretty terrible in this episode. There was some cool moments with Metal Bat and Garou when they were fighting, but most of the episode was pretty subpar for animation. They didn't do that great. It was kind of like an average animation at best. Other than that, the story would have been fine. It just kind of felt really fast-paced, and there's too many characters, too many new monsters, and so many new things. I'm like, okay, calm down. Let's kind of go into an episode where we can just see what each one can do, and so I can care about these characters. Right now, I don't care about any of them. So I want to care about some of these characters. I want to see how cool the villains are. I want to see how good the fights are with the heroes. So hopefully they slow it down a little bit. But that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Remember to check out my Discord. I have the link down below in the description. Make sure you check out my other videos like my Red Dead Redemption 2 gameplay, Walking Dead gameplay, Mob Psycho reviews, and I've been doing live reviews live watches on, reactions is the word, on Attack on Titan. So check all those out. I also uploaded the April meme review. The April funny video review will be coming up shortly, probably after this video gets uploaded, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you again so much for watching, and have yourselves a great one.